Hello, Trips. Welcome to Two Blokes Talking Balls with Mr. XY Vendetta in the top corner and myself, Hindo. We are sponsored by Mind Connect Mental Health, a mental health charity based out of the Merseyside. And we will be providing links in the future for this mental health service. This week's episode is going to be mostly on the Silverstone Grand Prix from last weekend because it took us a week to get ready for it. Don't ask why. Professional.
Yes, professional.
And some other general sporting topics. So we're going to go in straight off the bat and say, Leon, what do you think of that?
Think of what?
The whole Silverstone. In fact, well, let's break it down. Let's tell folk what we're going to be talking about. I did have a copy of. You see, if I should do all this ready before the stream.
Yeah, probably.
And I sent it to your old stream that got hacked. Very good.
Great start.
So,
I mean, there's plenty of places we can start with the whole Silverstone thing because it was that much of an interesting one.
So I think the order of the business today will be a quick review of the actual race itself. Talk about the general race, what happened, what didn't happen, what you thought of the race. Driver of the day, worst driver of the day, the strategy call for the day. We'll talk a bit about British drivers, who's won the Grand Prix and stuff like that. We'll talk about the current news in Formula 1 of Christian Horner being sacked and what that means going forward for Red Bull. How Audi have come through. And some general F1 chat. Now, Leon, you did say that you certainly wanted to ask me to start, so what was that?
Well, the first things first, I think we need to address before we talk anything about the race. Can somebody please explain to me what the fuck happened with Colapinto? I've never seen a driver just go so missing in a race. Like, he was there, and then the next thing you know, I know that's what I'm saying. He didn't even start, but it went so unnoticed. Even Crofty and Thingy didn't even have a clue he didn't start
until lap 8. It was lap
when
8
when he goes, where's Colapinto's DNF'd, but we don't know why. He never got going, but it was so untalked about.
If you actually watch the Sky coverage, right, at the very start of the race, they actually label Ocon as out the race.
Right.
At the very start, at the third corner when Lawson went off, they had Ocon and Lawson both out. So I'm like, oh fuck, Ocon's away. And then I went and done something to come back and Ocon's in P6. I'm like,
I thought he was out. Yeah, like it was strange decision making. It really was. But like, as soon as I seen that he was out, I just thought to myself, like, did he even get on the track?
So he done the formation lap and then went into box for slick tyres, which I'll touch more on later because I've got a whole spiel about that planned. He went into the pit box. He was in second gear. He stalled it and they revealed him back in without anybody actually noticing. But even before that, why was the formation lap done behind a safety car?
Yeah,
when it was
really
nearly dry?
I really don't get that.
Which I do understand why some drivers boxed in, especially the rookies. Like, every rookie boxed for slick tyres. But two guys went in the box for slick tyres that weren't rookies. One was Mr. George Russell, and the other was Mr. Charles Leclerc. Leclerc were on the medium tyres, which actually were pretty decent in practice and qualifying. The medium tyres actually had decent speed, they had decent deg, they held the temperatures well. They were a decent race pace tyre. But George Russell went in for a hard tyre that was 6 seconds off the pace in practice.
That was in the dry as well.
That was without any rain.
That was without rain, and it was sunshine for most of it. I don't like what I want to know what was going through their heads, because by the seams of it, with the team radios as well, the call to come in for dry straight away was on George. George made that decision himself. I don't know what Charles is. Charles is probably Ferrari, but it looks like that. George decision was on him.
Must be the tyres.
But
I think George Russell has went here and went, look, I have got the chance to be a hero here.
Yeah.
I've got the chance to go 40 laps on hard tyres when everyone's on slicks and make up 30 seconds in it. Well, 22 Without a safety car in Silverstone, your pit time's 22 seconds. With a safety car, it's 12 seconds, right? So, and with a virtual, it's 12 seconds as well, because it's the same pace, 40% off race pace, with a virtual safety car. So I think George Russell has come out of the pit and went, I have got the chance here to be Mr. Incredible.
Oh yeah, well that's 100% what he tried to do.
And he's totally fucked it.
Yeah, massively.
Minxie, have you seen that alien abductions? Well, it is called a Pinto. Which then leads me to my next point about George Russell. Why did Mercedes say, yeah, good idea, box for this?
Yeah, when they've got the weather telemetry in front of them.
Right. Actually, my friend Ryan was at the Grand Prix, and I texted him, using the Sky coverage, it showed you the rain coming in. I texted him saying, better get a poncho on, it's coming. At the same time, George Russell putting on dry tyres.
Yeah.
But why did Mercedes allow that with the guy sitting on P7, George qualified, I think?
Yeah, he was quite high up, aye.
It was top 10 qualifying anyway. So why did they allow that and not go with a gamble of Kimi Antonelli, who was sitting low down the track? You understand gambling with the guy lower down to make time, but George Russell sitting there in the points, good points. Why risk it?
I wanna possibly say it was down to adamancy. Like it seems like in his head he's decided no matter what, I'm coming in for slicks here. And the only car that had actually seemed to work on, which I can't believe I'm about to say this, was Stroll. Like Stroll on the softs worked incredibly well. He was running P3 for so long on them softs. But
yeah,
the whole rain situation, everyone knew it was coming. They have the weather telemetry in front of them. The track was still wet. Why even bother going in for the slicks at that time when half the track was still piss wet through?
Yeah. We'll touch more on Aston Martin and Stroll later, because I have got something really funny to say about that. That deserves its own whole segment. Moving next down. What do you think of Hamilton's move in the inside on Stowe? If that comes to your head, if that comes into your head, it was maybe the third or fourth lap. Obviously, track's drying out. Everyone's starting to midgets. Hamilton and one of the McLarens. The McLaren was sitting wide on Stowe, and Hamilton just branches down the inside.
Aye.
On the wet line. He just sticks it right down the inside and tries to slam the door. It doesn't work because it has no traction. So the McLaren swings out to the side. And, well, it's like he didn't even bother because the traction just wasn't there to start with. Yeah. And he wouldn't have tried it.
It's an interesting one, but I think in the same like basis of it, he did a move. He did the move later on. I think it was after the first safety car where he chucked it down the inside. George has got past him, but then in the same corner, George has done the same thing, gone too wide, and Hammy's not only got past George, but he's also then got past Ocon. I think it's after the first safety car. But he you know how Hammy is. He likes to try and get in gaps that don't exist. He makes a gap exist.
Well, as Ayrton Senna said, if you're no longer attack the gap, you're no longer racing driver.
Well, exactly, and I think
the gap needs to be there to start with.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He tries to make gaps exist, but he's that good. He can make a gap exist. He can bring a gap from fucking anywhere. If he thinks he can make a gap, he can. Look at Lando at Canada. He tried to go for a gap like Lightning McQueen, the way he was driving on the fucking wall. Like
you had to shout out Lightning McQueen, didn't you? You had to bring
it but he did. He went for a gap that just wasn't existent.
Any excuse. But we'll skip to the end of it. Well, not even that. Let's talk about McLaren in general. How quick were McLaren?
Oh, their pace is unreal. The pace is absolutely incredible.
Blisteringly quick. I mean, you have the two setups. You have a qualifying setup. You have a race setup. But you need to pick one. Obviously, when the car's going to park firmly, you can't change setup pre-race. So, but it looks like McLaren have one setup and it's fucking go. There's no in between.
Yeah.
Those cars are electrically quick, and that leads me to the next point of Max Verstappen. Big shout out to the Flying Dutchman, because he defended. Now, this is a niche reference here. He defended like a beaver.
I see. For my
And
notes here, when Piastri was overtaking Max, obviously, yes, he's driving a tractor and he's doing an incredibly good job of driving said tractor. But Piastri, when he actually got the line to get past him so fucking easily.
With DRS though, until that DRS was enabled, it couldn't get near him.
Yeah.
Until that DRS was enabled. If you think back to 2022 car, the Red Bull DRS was just out of this world. They had no drag at all when that wing came open. They were picking up 16, 18, 20 kilometres down the straights every single time.
Yeah.
And it just seems that this year, they're just not doing it. Verstappen defended so well for the opening laps, especially on wet tyres, in a car that even every race he's telling GP it's a shit box. Every race he's telling GP, I can't drive this. This is terrible. This is terrible. This is terrible. This is terrible. Like, what do you want the guy to do? I'm not one to believe in the Newey effect, right? But Red Bull haven't just lost Adrian Newey, they've also lost Jonathan Wheatley, who is the new team principal of... Sorry, not team principal, he's one of the head engineers of Audi Motorsport.
Yeah.
Currently kicks Alba. And Jonathan Wheatley was instrumental to the 2021 win. No matter how you feel about that, if you think Lewis Hamilton's an 8 time, think Max Verstappen's 1 time, we'll get to that in a different episode with Michael Massey. No, Mikey, no. It's so not right. But Jonathan Wheatley is a fantastic engineer in what he does, and he has been instrumental to the Red Bull success, as well as, obviously, Adrian Newey. Adrian Newey has got a 72% race win ratio in over 1,500 races. 750 races.
That is an insane stat, by the way. That's mind-blowing.
He has been, put it this way, right, since 1984. That was his first title, right? 1984 was his first title.
Yeah.
He was racing he was the engineer for Leighton House. He did nearly go to Brabham when Bernie Eccleston had Brabham. He was offered the Ferrari job, but he went to Williams. We know how that went with Williams, with Prost, with Mansell, with Damon Hill, before Red Bull. But since we'll go with 1992, right? That was his first title with Williams.
Yeah.
And that was with Aaron Prost. Since 1992, what's that? 33, right? 33. He has won. Let me make sure this is. Let me show you. You actually hear this. 21. In the past 32 available championships, an Adrian Newey car has won 21 of them.
That's insane that he is like.
The only thing he hasn't won.
In the car.
The only ones he hasn't won were the Merc dominance at the start of the hybrid era.
Yeah.
When he went 7 in a row. There's a 2 from Fernando Alonso in 05 and 06. And there's obviously Michael Schumacher 7 was at 16, sorry. So he's won half. He has won half of the past 32 years.
Yeah, that's bonkers. I didn't know that was a thing, but that is absolutely insane.
Every world championship has been an Adrian Newey car.
Yeah, that is truly insane.
And that's like.
I mean, the fact that they lost him in the first place is bonkers in itself, because that surely that's someone you want to keep Max Verstappen around driver wise, because right now on the grid there isn't. Yeah, I was going to say right now on the grid he's one of the best drivers there is on the grid, and he can get out of a car what's nothing. But having someone like Adrian Newey, who is a serial winner, it's like, if I'm putting it into football terms, it's like hiring Jose Mourinho at your club. You know what you're getting from him. Like, you're going to win with him 9 out of 10 times. And I don't think he's had long enough to be there at Aston to make a huge difference to build a car. But we could see the revitalisation of Aston again, like the start of last season where they were really good. We could see this revitalisation of Aston Martin again come back to the forefront and have a decent car.
Well, that should just set up really nicely for what my next point's going to be. Fernando Alonso How fucking angry has he been this year?
I think I
It
do.
seems every race.
I'm starting to think with Fernando. I think Fernando is getting to the point where he is slowly but surely done with this sport. I think he's finished with it. I do think his contract goes and he goes because he doesn't seem appreciated at Aston because you've got fucking daddy's money in the other seat and they're always going to cater to him. I do think he's starting to get sick of it.
I've been hearing rumours through a lot of paddock chat that this is Lance Stroll's last season.
See, I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
This is where it gets interesting. So Lance Stroll's contract is up at the end of this year again. He's got a 1-year rolling deal.
Well, yeah, it's a rolling deal. It's always going to be up.
Whereas Fernando Alonso is contracted to the end of next season. Also out of contract this season is Yuki Tsunoda. Now, who is going to be Aston Martin's engine provider next year?
Are they moving away from Merck?
I'll give you a clue. It starts with H and ends in Honda.
Oh, they're moving away from the Merc.
Honda are coming in to be Aston Martin's engine provider from 2026. Who on the grid is a paid driver from Honda?
See, do you not think I can't see Yuki doing it?
It's not up to Yuki.
No, I know it's not up to Yuki, but
Well,
can you see them?
It is up to Yuki.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
If Honda and Red Bull aren't partnered anymore, especially with Red Bull going to next year as well.
Can you see them taking a risk though on a seat? Is Lawrence going though from Aston, or is Lawrence still going to be there?
So Lawrence is the team. He's a CEO, team owner, big Honda daddy.
Yeah. So is he keeping his shares and stuff?
Yeah, he's keeping his shares.
I don't see Lance going anywhere. I really don't. I don't see him going anywhere. For as long as Lawrence is there, unless Stroll genuinely finishes with 0 points every season, for as long as Lawrence is there, Lance will be there. And I cannot see it going any other way.
I do understand where you're coming from, but when you think about it, I think the Honda deal for Red Bull was worth $150 million.
Right.
I don't think even Lawrence Stroll is rich enough to turn down $150 million a year sponsorship money.
Yeah.
Right? He is rich, filthy rich, but it's $150 million.
Yeah. Well, that's if the deal's going to be the same.
But that's again, it's all speculative. But whatever Honda have been, so is Yuki.
Yeah, I suppose
he's their driver. And again, that comes to the decision of what is Papa Stroll going to do. He's going to put Lance Stroll out to WEC. Is he going to put him in the BTCC, like Formula E with Aston Martin?
Yeah, the thing is, I just cannot see him. I cannot see him removing his son. I cannot see him removing his son. It's his name as well. It's his livelihood. They share the same second name. It's his livelihood. Imagine you're the CEO of a team and you go, "Aye, Stroll, you're finished." That's your livelihood, and for starters, it's come out of him. He's produced it. How bad does that look, sacking your own son after paying for his seat for as long as they have? I can't see it happening. Until Lawrence goes from Aston, I can't see Lance going anywhere. I really can't.
Yeah. This is also brings it to talk about Lance Stroll. As you touched on earlier, with Lance with the soft tyres, I think that might be one of the best strategy calls I have seen for a long time.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Lance Stroll had 4 laps on the soft tyres, and he picked up 9 positions.
Is that what it was? 9 positions?
9 positions of 4 laps Lance Stroll picked up. He was lapping at, let me read, 3.2 seconds a lap than the McLarens.
I didn't realise it was that, I didn't realise it worked that well for it.
4 laps, and then the rain started coming down, and he had made that much time in 4 laps that he came out in the same position he was.
I didn't realise he'd made up that much time. That is like 9 positions is insane. I thought when he boxed, he was like he didn't move much when he boxed. I thought he was in the top half already. I didn't realise he made up 9 positions.
No, he was in the top half when he boxed.
When he boxed, where was he?
So when he boxed, he was P12.
Right.
And then he came out dead last. And then came out, well, I say dead last was 15th.
15th, aye.
And then when he came back in fact, no, he made up more.
No, I was going to say it has to be more. He was running in the podium spot.
Second.
I was going to say he was running
for a few laps.
I was going to say he was running in the podium spot. So he's made up 10 plus positions in those 4 laps.
But that is with other cars boxing as well.
Yeah.
And again, poor young Fernando Alonso, that rookie driver from Spain, is left out to dry.
Well, he was fuming about the whole strategy, but it happened.
Yo, that's a red. Who's just read over there? I think that I don't know if that was yours or mine.
No, it was in your channel.
Well, because I just heard the noise coming through. Who was that? That was reading over. That'll be Jade. Jade, thanks for the raid. Welcome to Two Blokes Talking Balls. How was FC25?
It sounds terrible the more you say it.
Last thing you want though is folk won't forget about two blokes talking about balls.
Yeah, exactly.
And before anyone says Formula One doesn't have balls, every driver has 2 balls and are very fucking.
Exactly. So technically, there's 40 balls, and then there's God knows how many there is sitting in the garages.
I'm sorry to hear about it, Jade. Listen, come in. If you watch Formula One, you'll get on great here. If you don't watch Formula One, you'll learn about it. There's Gummy said eyeballs as well. Fair point, Gummy. So, as we spoke about Lance Stroll making up those positions in the laps, he was sitting P2 with Nico Hülkenberg racing directly behind him. When he boxed, he was sitting in P3.
I feel like we've skipped forward a bit, like a massive bit.
I didn't know. I'm just reading.
We have. We've missed out a huge point because we've missed out the safety car, which was.
No, I just want to go with how we're leading into stuff. Like we're talking about Aston Martin, talking about Lance Stroll.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I suppose
it's all keeping sort of fluid with how we're speaking about stuff. Because I have the whole race and points here beside me. Yeah. And I'm sort of having to scroll through them to keep up with where we're going. I just don't think we need to go in chronological order.
What we've got. We can just go back and touch on things. Yeah.
So, let's talk about the rather large green elephant in the room. My man. The man, Nico.
I mean, it's unbelievable for him. Like, to fight 239 fucking races. He's been there so many times where he was just nearly there and failed it, the last hurdle, so many times. This one's special for him. It has to be. It's Silverstone. It's one of the most prestigious ones, and it's the 75th anniversary.
And they gave him a fucking Lego trophy.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest.
It's Lego!
I'm going to be honest. If I was in Hülkenberg's shoes, I'd absolutely fucking love that trophy. That trophy would be sick. However, Piastri's comment in the cool down room or on the interview things after was right. Like, how does it feel after 239 races to finally get your first podium and you've been given a trophy that someone can fucking build at home in a week?
Yeah.
Like, his answer was spot on, because I think when Piastri's asked it, Piastri was very salty after the race. Like, it was very obvious that he was very, very, very pissed off about the whole thing. It was very clear to see, but Hülkenberg answered it with pure class. Like, he turned around and just said, like, I like Legos, and if not, my daughter can play with it. It would have been nice for some silver or some gold, but it's a cool trophy to have. It's unique.
I can actually see F1 commissioning a trophy for him. I can see that happening. I can see either Silverstone as a circuit or the FIA getting a trophy made for him.
Yeah, because that is wounding. That is wounding. That his first podium in 239 races, 15 plus years, with a gap of coming out of the sport and never thinking he'd get back in it, to being a reserve driver, a number 2 driver, a handful of appearances here and there for Haas, which, by the way, every time he come into that Haas car, he was wicked in it. He deserves his seat that he's got. And now he deserves his podium. If there's anyone on that grid that deserved a podium, it was him. He's now also, finally, the only people on that grid without a podium are the rookies.
Yeah.
Like, on the grid now, without a podium, it's just the rookies. And that really is how it should be.
That brings me to the next point. That shows a difference of experience and class that Nico has. But if you look at the guys at the back of the grid, let's not forget that Nico Hülkenberg raced a literal green fucking toaster from P19 to P3.
Yeah,
right.
It started at the back. It's unreal.
And he's shown about saying on the internet, he had his strategy called perfectly. If you look at who was at the back and who was mid-table, look at the 6 rookies if you include them lost, and the guys at the back who, well, how many rookies finished the race?
Not one of them.
One.
Which one?
Ole Berman.
Who finished?
Finished dead last. In fact, no, he didn't. Did he finish?
I don't think any of the rookies finished. Oh no, yeah, there was one rookie. One rookie. Hi. Waltz, thank you very much for coming in for the 17-month resub. I appreciate that, brother.
Excellent with the resub. But that just shows you how much what's the word? It just shows you Nico's mentality.
Oh yeah, 100%.
After 15 years, 200 plus races, he's still got that dog in him to get. Last year, we're talking about Max Verstappen's drive in Brazil in the rain, in one of the greatest cars in F1 history. And so already we've stopped talking about Nico Hülkenberg dragging a green bathtub up 16 positions through 2 safety cars, 2 virtual safety cars, absolute fucking chaos. And let's not forget that it's his second race this season, going back to Spain, that's his second race this season. He has pulled down a 7-time world champion's pants in a Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean, in giving the defending to Hamilton, once Hamilton got past, once he got past Stroll, I did think for a second, well, you are 8 tenths away. It's there. Keep this streak alive. But then as he tried to and just couldn't get past, and the gap went to 2 seconds. And then he started getting faster again and closing it in. I was actually getting to the point where I was like, do you know what? Fuck your streak. Hulkenberg deserves this. And when you actually look at the team radios at the end of the race, he was the first to actually fully, properly congratulate him. And that's the class that's in him. And for Hulkenberg, I do think, given a car in his career, if he was in a car and had a car under him, we could be talking about a Hulkenberg that's a world champion, not a Hulkenberg that's just got his first podium, because he's got that much class in him. You don't go away from a sport for 2 years, go and win Le Mans, go and win whatever else, come back to the sport without being a good driver. You're a world-class driver to go away from the sport, win Le Mans, and then come back.
I do think that if you put, again, it all falls down to car versus driver, and if you put, in the words of Niki Lauda, a monkey can drive these cars, right? He said that in 2000 and, I can't remember when it was, 2012-ish, 13-ish, he said that he's scared of how it's going. There's no driver feeling. It's literally guys behind the wheel drive the computer.
Yeah.
But I think Nico Hülkenberg in that McLaren, for example, or in Red Bull's second seat, I think we're talking about a title challenge.
Maybe it's not Red Bull's second seat. that second seat that would write his career off.
Well, they said that about Haas. They said that about
now, because he got the most out of a car that was shit. This second seat it feels like it's designed to fail. Checo Perez is not a bad driver.
He's not. Neither's Liam Lawson. I mean, these guys wouldn't be in Formula 1 if they were bad drivers.
But Liam Lawson's gone. Liam Lawson's gone to the thingy, the racing bulls, and he's actually been all right. I mean, I'm not going to say he's been better than Hadjar, because I think these last few races, Hadjar's finally finding his feet in the sport.
If you look in the Red Bull background, you've got Lindblad and F2 trying to hide under table.
Yeah.
Lindblad's trying to shut the door. No, I don't want that fucking seat.
Nobody wants it, because there's so many drivers that have been in it and have failed. Technically speaking, Danny Rick got into that. He got forced into that second twice, and it's fucked him both times.
Liam Lawson, Sergio Perez, Daniel Kvyat. Even going back to the Vettel days with Mark Webber. Yeah. Mark Webber struggled in the second car.
Yeah.
No one since Red Bull's inauguration 20 years ago, no one in that second car has... Mark Webber in the first couple of years had some decent outings until the whole scenario with Multi-21. Let's not deep dive Red Bull. that's a whole different segment. But let's talk about, again, Lewis Hamilton. In what world did you think Lewis Hamilton was like, yes, I'm going to Maranello?
Oh,
Why am I fighting a fucking Sauber?
yeah. I mean, did you see the interview he did the other day, where he was asked like the whole Ferrari thing, how's it gone, and has it been how you expected it? And Hamilton goes like, look, it's a big risk to take. I'm going from a team that I've been at for years, dominated with, won so much with, and they are his family, and he's joined Ferrari, and it's a massive risk. But at the end of the day, it's Ferrari. You're going to go to Ferrari given an opportunity, and it feels like he's being promised something that they couldn't deliver on, because the car that he's being given is shite, and he said it. Off the track, everything is perfect to Ferrari. It's exactly how he wanted it, but on the track, it's not going the way it wants to go.
Is Freddie Vasseur, let's not forget, Freddie Vass as a team principal has been outstanding. He created his own F2. They've won countless titles. They're still winning titles. He got the Alfa Romeo job. He turned Alfa Romeo into not a tractor. They were still bad, but they weren't the worst team in the grid. Kimi Räikkönen and Leclerc. He then got the call for... Well, look at Alfa Romeo with Valtteri Bottas, his first.
Yeah.
And then Freddie Vass left, and then Alfa Romeo, they were shit the following season. Kick's first season done nothing. This season, again, it's not even Kick that's doing it. It's the Audi. I think it's the Audi upgrades that have actually helped Kick Sauber.
Oh yeah, 100%. But it's such a strange one, because like one of my things I've got wrote down here is to do with like Hami's patience. He's halfway through the season officially now, and the Italian papers are actually putting as headlines in their things, we need to start listening to Lewis Hamilton. You've got to think he's an 8-time world champion. That fucking bullshit.
Seven.
Eight. But anyway, like
even if you want to claim 2021 for Lewis Hamilton, let's go back to 2008 with Massa and Crashgate.
Yeah, I suppose there's plenty of it. There's plenty of it. But anyway, to stick to the point, you've got bare minimum 7-time world champion on your hands. You've got a 7-time world champion at Ferrari, a historic team that right now are failing miserably. They don't look good at all. You need to do something. So what do? Oh, I don't know. We've got a 7-time world champion driving our car. Let's listen and see what he has to say about us. He's telling them things and they're not doing things. They're not making the car better. So I really hope for next year they get their acts together and they have a decent car under him, because as of right now, it just looks like it's going to be another disappointing year for him. It really does.
How much input did Lewis actually have on this car?
I don't think much, because he doesn't look comfortable in it. He doesn't look comfortable in it at all.
Bearing the result in China in the sprint, he's not had a...
Nah, he's been nowhere near, and Charles gets his third here and there, and you've got to think, Charles, obviously, you've been driving Ferrari for 3, 4, 5 years now, whatever it is you've been driving. Yeah, in fact, as a matter of fact, Charles only knows Ferrari engines, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's never drove anything else. Whereas you go for Hamilton. What's Hamilton drove his entire career? Pretty much Mercedes. It's a huge change.
Not even his career. If you go back in Lewis Hamilton's life, Lewis Hamilton's been driving Mercedes-powered cars. He's been a product of the Mercedes family from he was 8 years old.
Yeah. He got into it pretty young.
30 years ago.
Yeah. So you think it's a big change for him going, and I never expected like the first 5-6 races to go swimmingly for him. I expected more. I expected more from him. Don't get us wrong. I did think we'd see more, but we're now halfway through the season and things haven't got better, which says to me, what's wrong here? Is it the car, or is it Hamilton? But then you see the performance in the rain at Silverstone, where Charles was down there pissing about with Ferrari's stupid, pathetic strategies, as always.
Must be the water.
But then he's up there and he's kind of just done his own thing, done his own race, and he's finished fourth. He's finished 2.5 seconds, maybe 1.5 seconds by the end of it, off the back of, yes, Sauber, Hulkenberg. But again, that is still right now. That is still a Ferrari engine, correct?
What, in the Sauber?
In the Sauber, yeah.
Yeah,
That's still,
season,
so it's still a Ferrari engine. So you've got him keeping up with the pace of another Ferrari, yet it's beating them. And that shouldn't be happening. So that says a lot about Ferrari this year with the car they've built, more than the driver, because you should not be getting outdone by what once upon a time and might still be your sister team.
Well, do you know why it's the sister team? Do you know how that all started?
I just kind of did the Alfa Romeo thing, and I just kind of put 2 and 2 together and thought it was a sister team.
So the Alfa Romeo they won the first four world titles in the 50s with Fangio. We spoke this the other day. Farina.
Yeah, yes.
But there was this guy who raced before it was the F1 World Championship, and before the 50s. I'm talking about this guy was born in, right? He raced in Ferraris from 1910. He was productive in racing Alfa Romeos in 1910, not Ferraris. Because I talk about Ferraris. He raced with Alfa Romeo for 30 years. He retired from racing and he's he then had a meeting with a guy who was going to sell the company to Ford.
Right.
But he didn't sell the company to Ford. He sold the company to Fiat Automotive.
Fix it again tomorrow.
And that guy, who was the racing driver for Alfa Romeo, he was given full automation of the racing team. He was the guy in charge of the racing team, even after he retired. Alfa Romeo then sold it to Fiat. And that man was called Enzo Ferrari. Enzo Ferrari was a fantastic driver for Alfa Romeo, and he wanted to have sort of a homage to Romeo, and that's why if you look back at the old Ferrari cars from like the 2000s and the 90s, all have the quadrifoglio 4-leaf clover on them as an homage to Enzo Ferrari and where they came from. And that's why the Alfa Romeo red was Ferrari red and vice versa.
Yeah.
But that deal, I'm actually quite worried for historical reasons going forward into 2026. It's not even worried, it's just like sad to see a partnership that spanned 100 years now gone.
Just gone, disappeared, forgotten about.
But talking about Hulkenberg's podium, do you know when Sauber's last podium was? I'll give you a hint. There's been one.
Okay, then it's not going to be. I thought Bottas got one, but clearly not.
No. This guy, the last podium that Sauber had was a win.
And I've got no fucking idea.
It was in 2012 with BMW Sauber. A man called Robert Kubica.
Oh, was he the last one to win for them?
He was the only winner for Sauber. The only winner for Sauber.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not talking Alfa Romeo. I'm talking about Peter Sauber's team. Obviously, Alfa Romeo was just the naming rights.
Yeah.
Alfa Romeo stopped being the team, well, when Ferrari came about. But Peter Sauber and Alfa Romeo, like all the naming deals, stuff like that. But the last Sauber podium and victory 12, which breaks Hulk's streak of 208 races, which leaves the only other driver, at least two other drivers that have now.
What was that? Sorry, you mic cut out there.
We're back. Yeah, we're back. There's only been two other drivers that haven't
had a podium.
Yeah.
Which is?
Romain Grosjean. Kobayashi was at before 2012. Surely.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, so it wasn't the last one then.
Sounded French to Johnny
Me
fluent
too,
these days.
uh, Kobayashi. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Kobayashi Sal podium.
So we can quick fact check.
Quick fact check for JMO. Sorry, you're right, JMO. The last podium was Kobayashi. The last win was Kubica in the same season.
So
Funnily enough, it was the race after.
Oh, fair enough. See,
before Kobayashi, wait a minute here, because it was Kubica that won it in 2012. Kubica won the race on Sauber in 2012. Securing third place his home circuit in Suzuka. It was also the first podium in 13 years. But Kubica won for BMW Sauber. This is strange. Because it says here, prior to Kobayashi's 2012, Sauber's last podium finish was the 2002 French Grand Prix with Nick Heidfeld.
Oh, so maybe your facts are wrong.
Kubica, Sauber, win. So, again, JMO, you're entirely correct. The last Sauber podium was 2012. But then, apparently the last podium was 2002 when it was wrong. Kubica's podium was June 2008 with his first and only Formula 1 victory at the Canadian Grand Prix, which is also the only win for the Sauber team.
So it is the only win.
We've got so many varying facts here. I'm way out of date with it. I'm thinking Kubica's a lot. Well, man, 2008 Kubica's winning races and he's just won. Wow.
Is he Kubica's the one with one arm, yes?
Yeah.
Do you know what I don't get? He's just won Le Mans, right? How the fuck's he driving a car with gear shifts as well with one arm?
Don't downshift, no problem.
I mean, sure, you've got a fucking downshift.
No, he's got like...
That's what I'm saying, really. Like, how does he change gear?
He's got like, there's like 2 fingers or something he's got. He lost most of his hand and most of his like arm, but there's still stuff there.
Right, okay, so he's kind of got something there.
If you look back at his Alfa Romeo when he come back, it's like got a pure modified steering wheel in the left hand.
Right, okay, so kind of like fit for purpose.
It's not like he's walking about with a stump. He's got fingers or some description.
Well, since we're still on topic of... Yeah, did I? But while we're still on topic of the like Hulk podium, you probably would have seen it yourself if you dabble in Twitter after the race. Everyone crying, oh, the podium could have been better for him. Lando and Piastri could have sprayed him with the champagne and blah, 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 blah. He's got so unfortunate to get his podium in the race. He's got his podium because of the 2 in front of him. Because Piastri on that podium was an absolute little baby.
Let's be thankful that Lando didn't spike that trophy, or there might have been blood.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like the bloke's just got his first podium in nearly 240 races, 239 races. He's got his first podium, and Lando has slightly sprayed him, and he's being left to go and spray his own team. You can see in the podium celebrations, he's visibly uncomfortable. He doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's never been up. Lando brought his helmet in for him, so he didn't get thingy for it. He had no clue what he was doing. He didn't look welcome on the podium. He didn't look like he was made to feel welcome. He just felt so out of place.
Now, go back to JMO's point there about Kobayashi. It's just actually a picture in my head from that race where the guys in first and second actually put Kobayashi on their shoulders to celebrate his first podium.
Yeah, and that should be the way it is. Now imagine it was different. Imagine it was different and it was Lando and maybe someone else instead of Piastri or thingy. They could have made, 100%. They could have made more of a deal about him because he kind of just got a little bit of spray by Lando after he did his smash, and then he just got left to his own devices, and he looked so out of place because he'd never been there before. He didn't know what he was doing. He looked visibly uncomfortable, and I felt so bad for him. Yeah, he did. He looked so visibly uncomfortable.
Fuck with that again. I'm getting back to getting podiums.
He looked visibly uncomfortable up there, and it wasn't helped by the way Piastri was going on.
Between you, Leon, and the rest of you guys in chat, can you tell me? I'll know if you Google this. I will know if you Google this. In the next 10 seconds, who has now the longest streak without a podium?
What, currently racing on the grid?
No, he's retired.
So
this guy went for his first race to last race, no podiums, and it is.
No, I can't tell you.
Adrian Sutil.
Yeah, I was never ever gonna get that. I have no fucking clue who that is.
Sudini. Who is Sudini?
I have no idea who you've just said.
Adrian Sutil. That's very niche. That's a very niche.
Fucking. It sounds very niche.
That's like, again, Nick Heidfeld and Heinz Harrell. What a boy Sutil was. JMO knows. That's gone back to like the game. That's gone back to again the time of Heinz. Again, what a driver Nick Heidfeld was, by the way. Nick Heidfeld, very underrated. So let's again talk about the elephant in the room. Who was your driver of the day?
Well, for me, I'm going quite left field. Because Hulk was very good in the race. An unbelievable race start to finish from last to third, unreal. And he's kind of been the driver I'm about to say has kind of been up there for the last few races for me, where he's actually got to the finish line and finished it in the pink and blue shit box. But Pierre Gasly's really impressing me at the minute. Yeah. And in this race, it went very, very sneakily, but he finished fifth or fourth. No, fifth. Fifth,
yeah.
He's just quietly getting about his business. No cameras. He doesn't care. He's driving and he's enjoying himself and he's doing what he needs to do. And getting that car up to fifth was like, he just did it so quietly.
I'm Brazil last year when it was Max Verstappen masterclass and two Alpines on the podium. It make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Pierre Gasly, Alan Prost is still alive, but he's been retired
since when, you might cut out there?
1993 retired. He's also got 3 drivers.
You cut out again.
What did you last year?
He also has 3
world titles and considered one of the best ever.
Who, Alan Prost?
Yeah, Alan Prost. 100%.
I love that his name is like Alain Prost, but it's pronounced Alan.
My driver of the day, again, I can put Pierre Gasly. What a race. But I'm going to follow the sheep here and give it to my boy Nico.
You have to. You do have to, because if
I was hoping you would go Pierre Gasly. Again, honourable mention goes to Lance Stroll.
See, come the end of it, it kind of fell apart a bit. He does deserve some plaudits from the race. He definitely does. But I think come the end of it, it kind of fell apart. And that comes down to, I think, in the longness of races, he just isn't great. We started with a conversation about Colapinto. To understand where he went.
Says Colapinto is the driver of the day.
Yeah.
Moving on, we've done the driver of the day. Now let's go worst driver of the day.
But technically, you can't even go to Colapinto because he didn't drive his fucking car. Do you know what, actually? Because he was at fault for the first crash and then the crash between Haas being Haas, Ocon.
Let's do Ocon. Again, Ocon done well to recover from the first. Ocon wasn't at fault for either crash. The first crash was.
Well, technically, the first one, you can kind of blame Sonoda because they got sandwiched. It was a racing incident. It was 3 wide. It was never going to work. But you've took Hadjar out the race. He's gone. The second one where the synchronized spun, I feel like was Ocon's problem. Like that was it. The synchronized spin in there was brilliant, by the way.
I seen that TikTok and it was. I couldn't move. I do completely agree. Liam Lawson it should be called coleslaw because he is nothing but cabbage.
See, I feel like he might have. Nah, probably not. But I feel like he might have. I'm probably being too kind to him here. Let's be honest. I probably am. I don't think he would have done anything had Ocon not have took him out.
Aye, that's a man.
Yeah, actually, there's the real answer, Charles. Shocking.
Is Charles down to Charles or is Charles down to Ferrari? Ferrari?
That's what I don't know. Did he declare his own strategy? Because if it's down to Ferrari, then how did Hammy get it right? I feel like Leclerc had.
Did Hammy get it right?
Well, technically speaking, yes, he's finished 4th. Leclerc was pretty much rock bottom.
Again, that goes to the start when he went into mediums.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So is that his strategy or is that Ferrari's strategy? Yes, we know typical Ferrari being Ferrari, the strategies are terrible, but it's the question's there.
In my notes, right? I showed this to Leon earlier. In my notes, you'll see it highlighted in yellow. I have literally got Ferrari strategy. What the fuck? As we're not went yellow.
You've seen it though. You've seen it though. It was clear.
What the fuck? That's all I've got is what the fuck. Ferrari, for the past 3 years, it's been a running joke. Look at the Leclerc pit stop when they forgot to bring out the tyres.
They didn't bring out the tyres. That was a bad one, that.
Oh, that was horrific.
That really was a bad one. But I mean, while we're on the topic of strategies, do we think for Hulk, we'll go back to Hulk.
Hold on, let us go because my next question is strategy call of the day. My worst driver of the day is Yuki.
Yeah.
Yuki Tsunoda is in a Red Bull. I mean, he is not Max Verstappen, but he came out, he thundered about like a fish out of water. He done nothing.
Yeah.
He done nothing. He started up and then he done nothing the whole race. And I think it's now got to the point that what's the point?
Yeah.
Like what? Why did he just?
It was always a risk for him to take the Red Bull seat. Always, it was always going to be a risk because we all know that second seat. We've already spoke about it, but we all know it's a risky seat to take.
Would you rather do a lap around St James's Park, bollock naked, or take that Red Bull second seat?
I'm having the lap around St James's Park. Thank you very much.
100%.
I don't care how much money comes with that Red Bull second seat. I'm doing a lap naked around St James's Park. Couldn't care less.
Oh, as Reece says, if I drove like that, I'd be locked up, licensed to cap if I drunk driving.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he came out for the race, looked good, and then there was an incident with the 3 cars. Why are you trying to go 3 cars wider?
Yeah, it was never ever gonna work for him. It was never gonna work for him.
2 cars there, but he decided, I'm going to try and sneak it up the inside. He's then caused Lawson to crash and retire, and Hadjar essentially.
Yeah, he was just like really bad, and he looks like he looks like a fish out of water. He's not comfortable in the car, which blows my mind because, like you said, it's always been Red Bull for him. So what is this second seat really as bad as we actually think? And this is clear to see with how just quietly getting on with his business in the racing bulls and the whatever the fuck you want to call them these days. He was doing all right. And he's took this second seat and his career's going down the pot. And it's looking very likely that unless this Aston Martin thing that you mentioned happens, I think he could be done in the sport. I really do.
And like I said earlier, I can't see Aston Martin there. Their exposure on the grid.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I can see the actual traction behind these rumours of Yuki going to Aston Martin. I don't think Honda are ready to let it go yet.
Because he's a good enough driver not to let go of.
You touched on the subject of a strategy call. So what was your strategy call of the day?
Well, it by team, it's not by team, because by sounds of team radios, I'm going with Hulk, because Hulk made his own strategy. And I'm going with that because I think if he didn't say what he said and did what he did himself, that podium wouldn't have happened. He's got that podium with his own strategy. So the strategy call for the day for me is going for not a team, it's going for Hulk.
Again, mine is going to a driver as well, but I'm going left field this time, and I'm going for Lance Stroll.
Yeah.
I think Lance Stroll got on the soft tyres. He beat Lewis's own brains in a tractor race, in a green tractor, not even a tractor, a toaster, a green toaster. But
in the wet as well. More impressively, it's in the wet. You've Hulk's not only beat Hamilton, he's beat him in the wet.
And he pulled his pants down in Spain.
Yeah, and there's one of the you look at Lewis and you think back of all the times he's raced in wet and how good he's been in all of these races in the wet. Hulk's pissed past him, pulled his pants down, whacked them over his head and went, no.
That's what I was saying, Reece. Gasly stuck in P5 and just kept it there. Your worst strategy call of the day, Leon?
Ferrari.
I've literally got worst strategy, Ferrari.
That's all I can say. There's no we don't even need to explain it. We can just say Ferrari and move on. And it's gonna roll us in nicely. While we're asking questions.
Lawson wasn't a strategy. Lawson was just a plum.
Piastri's penalty. What do you think?
Now that's the first thing I've got here up the very top was Piastri penalty. I think it was justified. But I think it should have been a 5-second penalty, not a 10-second penalty. Purely because, as we spoke about the other pressure on that car, I don't think it's Piastri's fault, right? He's been told to slow down his delta, which is by rules of the FI. That's by rules. He must slow down his delta.
Oh, well, yeah, 100%, because once that safety car's coming in, Piastri becomes the safety car. He is the safety car. But
why did they leave it until cops?
Yeah.
Well, in fact, now cops allowed to take a hanger straight.
Yeah.
There was 4 corners between the hanger straight, Maggotts and Beckett's, and then the pit lane entry. Why did they leave it so late?
Yeah, to say it was coming in. I can see Piastri's point of view in saying like it was a harsh penalty, and 10 seconds might have been harsh, but when you are pulling 60 psi out of a Formula 1 brake, you're braking too heavy. George got away with his penalty because his was 20. 60 psi in a Formula 1 car's brake is an insane amount of pressure to be taken out of that car. He nearly came to a complete stop, and Max was about to go tumbling in the back of him.
Yeah, and that's why I do agree that it is a penalty, but I do think 10 seconds was a bit criminal.
Yeah, it was a harsh to give him the 10 seconds. Like that's a big penalty, and that is ultimately what cost him the race, because then when they come back out, which brings me on nicely to what I've got wrote down next, his little crybaby over the radio where he said, if you guys don't think this penalty was fair, I also don't think it was fair. Let's swap back around. As Lando Norris was 5 seconds up the fucking road.
Right, but let's take it from a Piastri point of view, right? So I don't think they should have boxed. I think they should just kept going, right? Because you've got a 10-second penalty, right? You can take that at the end of the race,
yeah,
and add 10 seconds to your time,
yeah.
But if you take a 10-second stop and go penalty and a pit stop,
your 10 seconds is there, you're fucked.
That's not a 10-second pit stop. That's not a 10-second penalty. That's 22-second pit stop turns into a 32-second pit stop. Plus, the human reaction time of, like, that can be 10 seconds, but it's going to be
they did slow. It was a slowish pit stop as well, wasn't it?
It was a 4.6-second pit stop as well, stationary.
Yeah.
Well, 14.6. So that's, again, McLaren have frequently had pit stops at 1.8, 2.1, 2.2, 3.1, all for the past couple of seasons. So then why would they think it a good idea to then turn to a 32-second penalty, essentially?
I think if you had to let him go and just whack the 10 seconds on at the end, it might have been different because, as we touched on at the start, McLaren's race pace was unreal. However, Lando throughout the race looked the faster of the two. He looked more comfortable and he looked faster lap by lap. And I think come the end, when he finished 5 seconds clear or whatever it was, he finished clear, Piastri had no chance of catching him. It was never going to happen.
But I do think it's kind of ballsy him going, well, let's let us race. But with a 0.000% chance,
yeah.
But you know what? Fair play to him for asking.
Yeah.
Don't get.
See, this is also what I'm liking about McLaren and what's making, yes, McLaren are pissing the races, and it's not necessarily boring, but it would be nice to see someone else win a race. But this is what I like about McLaren right now is they don't really have a number one named driver. They are just going out there with their papaya rules. They're just racing. They're just letting them crack on.
Papaya rules. Let's take a look at the standings while I'm here. So after that weekend,
he's like 8 points behind us, isn't he?
12 points.
Aye, he's closed it down.
Piastri's 12 points in front. You have Lando on 236, then you have Max on 16.
Yeah, it's clear to see. It's clear to see how just so much McLaren are pissing this year away. Like the thingy is pretty much already done.
It's not the ginger, it's brown. It's just we were going to colour it brown on Photoshop and we forgot.
No, that is the brown one. Or did you use the ginger one?
No, that's brown because I get glasses. I changed it to brown.
Oh yeah.
So the top 10, right? Going from right now, the top 10 is Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, George Russell in P4. P5 is Charles Leclerc, who is 16 points in front of Lewis Hamilton. And P7 is Kimi Antonelli. So P6, Lewis Hamilton. P7 we have Kimi Antonelli on 63. In P8 we have Alexander Albon on 46. And in P9 we have Nico Hülkenberg on 37. Honourable mention, Isaac Hadjar's P11.
Oh yeah, he's picking up points.
That is Isaac Hadjar's second position.
I've got this wrote down in my notes to actually touch on Isaac Hadjar at some point, because he, in terms of the rookies, obviously other than Kimi, he is the best of the lot. He struggled at first, he really did, but he's really starting to come in his own little swing of things, and he's starting to look good.
I do think Kimi Antonelli's got a lot more raw talent, but Hadjar's got that dog in him.
Yeah, he just doesn't care. He's in a horrendous car, and he's doing
a Formula
well.
One driver.
Yeah, he's in a horrendous car, and he's doing well. You've got Kimi in a semi-alright car, but he's also got a lot of talent. He does have a lot of talent, a lot of raw talent there. But Hadjar is just getting on with things and doing well. And out of the rookies, is aside from Kimi, but I mean, even actually looking at Kimi with the whole Max thing, Kimi might not. It depends what Mercedes decide to do. But I do think Hadjar is the best of the rookies and will end up in a decent team.
And I hope, as JMO Play says in the chat there, I can see Hadjar in the second Red Bull by the end of the season. I fucking hope not.
Yeah, I really hope not.
I hope not, because I actually quite like Hadjar.
I really hope not.
And let's just say, that man is hench, by the way. Like, he might be the biggest driver since Nigel Mansell.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent there. And he is a unit and all.
He's a unit, man. I don't, like, if you to get an F1 car and crack it into Isaac Hadjar, I think the F1 car might come off worse.
Yeah. But it would be nice to see him give him a car and see what he can do, and see what he can, like. Kimi's got a chance with a car and he's doing well. He's obviously got a lot of talent as well, but he's got a car. Hadjar's driving a fucking V car, but he's literally driving a car that is sponsored by a fucking cash. It's sponsored by a bank.
He's a cash sharp racing bulls.
Like, it's the most pathetic name I've ever heard. R.I.P. Alpha Tauri. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Minaldi. R.I.P. Minaldi.
Just wave the days of the nice names gone, Braun. Wave these nice names gone. Why have we now got so much shit added on?
Do you know what we need? We need another yellow car.
Yeah.
There's no colour anymore. Everything's white, black,
it's
red.
white or carbon fibre, innit?
Yeah. And then the Ferrari red.
The colour's gone.
Yes, that's a very niche reference. Bring back arrows.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. No idea who
Arrows
are.
Arrows were beautiful. Same with Benetton. Benetton were a beautiful car, right? But on my next, I want to get through. I want to go to this next on the next part of my list. That is our Discord competition, Leon.
Oh God,
the
one that we're all doing so well in.
I'm winning. I've got two. Legend Johnny B has one, and Leon has
one. No, I've got one. I have got one.
What was your one?
Me bold prediction. I've got 1 point. I've 110% got 1 point.
What one?
Let me find it because I've.
Oh wait, yeah, you do. John 2, Johnny 1.
Yeah, I've 100% got a point. It was
McLaren's caused damage. McLaren's causing damage. That's what it was.
It was when Lando decided to be like the McQueen. Yeah.
So I am speed. Johnny B. He had pole for Oscar pastry.
As my autocorrect likes to say.
His 1, 2, 3 was Lando Norris to win. Lando Norris to win. He's got that. Oscar Piastri in second. He's got that. But in third place, he had Max Verstappen to finish third. And his bold prediction was Yuki in the top 8. That didn't happen. Leon, you have went for Norris on.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Nah.
Your 1, 2, 3 was Lewis, Norris, and George. That didn't happen.
Because I was, like I said, was going to put that as my bold prediction, but then thought, nah, fuck it, I'm back at my original prediction from before the season started.
And your bold prediction, you stuck with a set week. 3 rookies in the points.
And only one rookie fucking finished. I got
it was nearly in the points. Let's be honest, it was nearly in the points.
Yeah, the week before, that one was one rookie away from being irate. If there wasn't time penalties, I'd have smashed it. But I thought I'll back it because it's Silverstone and anything can happen. And anything happened, that's for sure.
Mine for this week was Paul Lando. 1, 2, 3 was Lando, Piastri, and Hamilton. And my prediction was Max DNF. Second DNF in a row, and I was very close with that.
But you know what? Your prediction actually brings me in nicely to the point. One of my points I've got. What happened? How did he spin? What did he do? Like after the safety car restart, he binned his race.
So remember, well, as we touched on with Piastri, he had semi-cold tyres to start with.
Yeah.
And then he's obviously had to slow right down with Piastri stuff. The whole Piastri carry on. Piastri's backed him right up with cold tyres. And then he went, oh shit, I need to go. And then cold tyres, flat spot for the heavy brake. On this greasy surface, he just went.
Straight. Yeah. And binned
it. He did binned it.
It comes so out of the blue and just
I was so close to another point now. So close. Now, if you do want to take part in that, guys, Discord in the chat, to come in and take part in that as well with us.
I'll also stick the Discords in the description of the videos.
Yeah. You might actually be better than us because we are pretty fucking shit at this.
Yeah, and our bold predictions are slowly but surely getting less bold to try and start picking up some points.
I mean, Max Verstappen to DNF's pretty bold.
Yeah, well, especially 2 weeks in a row.
He is really good at F1s.
Especially 2 weeks in a row. And the issue is if we started doing it with quit a race, right, the pot would end up being, depending on how many people, the pot would be full by the end of the season, and we'll be rolling it into next season because Nico gets it right.
Hey, I'm in the lead. I'm in the lead with 2 here. I'm in the lead with 2. So in my opinion, that pretty much sums up the shit show that it was.
Ooh, ooh,
Silverstone.
ooh.
Oh.
One more point. One more
more
point,
point.
actually. First
Oh,
safety car. The first safety car.
What one? The virtual or real?
The real one. When the
Yep.
when the safety car did because it was raining too much. Why did the traipse around the track for nearly 10 laps red flag the fucking race? Why did the race around the track as slow as they did? They're not moving any water. They're doing nothing. Just red flag it. Give us more racing and just red flag it.
Well, an F1 car moves 60 litres of standard water per second with the intermediate tyres.
In the slow that they were going, they weren't moving any water.
So we do have, they all had on intermediate tyres at that point, but there is these things, like, I've heard they're a myth, right? Until yesterday. These things called fully wet tyres with a blue rim on
the
them.
non-existent tyres that they just don't use.
But, right, so we didn't use the wet tyres in the wettest day of the year. But Haas sent Ollie Behrman and Esteban Ocon to the Goodwood Festival of Speed yesterday. And the 23 and 24 Haas cars. Do you know what they had on their cars?
Wet tyres.
Full wet tyres.
So they do exist. I think the last time we seen full wet tyres in racing conditions, which technically weren't racing conditions because I'm pretty sure they were behind the safety car, was it not Canada last year?
Oh, Canada last year.
I think it was Canada last year. The two, ironically, the two Hasses.
Yeah. But what was it yesterday? What was it in London yesterday?
Ironically, one of the hottest day of the year.
Hottest and driest day of the year. They've chucked on full wet tyres, and the guys at Silverstone are like...
I suppose the reason they've probably put on the full wet, were they on normal roads?
Well, no, it's private land as a hill.
No, but I'm on about like, was it what kind of road is it? Because it's not going to be fucking smooth like an F1 track. They've probably put those tyres on because it's got grip on it. You can't drive on a UK road with slick tyres because that's got one thing written over it and it's called fucking death.
Well, my car outside would disagree with that statement.
Well, so would my lasses a few months back until I got the bastards changed.
My front tyres look like John Joe Shelby.
They'll be beautiful looking tyres then, are they?
Right, so moving on for the Silverstone Grand Prix, let's move on to the other big elephant in the Formula One.
The full-on start of silly season.
So the news reaching us the other day was Christian Horner being relieved of his duties from Red Bull principal and CEO for 20 years in service. Now, it came to not my attention, but attention. He is still employed by Red Bull. He's just been relieved of his duties.
I figured that out the other day. Yes, he is still employed. He's not the team principal anymore.
So
what's he doing?
I think he is still team principal.
They're just not saying it. But he's come out and actually said, I am still employed by these and I'm still working for the Red Bull team.
He's still working for Red Bull.
Yeah, he's clarified he is still working for the Red Bull team. He isn't leaving them.
He's not going to Dan Mac like Adrian Newey. He's actually still there. Not Dan Mac. He's not left like Adrian Newey. He's been relieved of his duties. But terminated.
The thing I don't get, right, and what we'll get to an actual proper discussion. We'll get to a proper discussion about why we think, but what I don't understand is why they've sacked him after a few bad performances with a McLaren car that is absolutely ridiculous. Yet he survived all the way through the Mercedes dominance, but he didn't get sacked last year when the allegations came out. They didn't even attempt to relieve him of his duties. They didn't put him on any sort of leave. They'll go, oh no, we're going to change things for now. You've been sacked after a slightly disheartening run because your second driver isn't picking up the points you need to be up there given a fight, but survived the whole 10-year decade of Mercedes being Mercedes.
Let's not forget they also dealt with Mercedes being dominant. Early in the 2000s, Christian Horner has been in charge of Red Bull since day one, 20 years. Yeah. His first drivers were Mark Webber and David Coulthard.
Yeah.
Right? The last time Christian Horner was not... I
Oh, mate, there's a fucking daddy long legs coming for us.
I was 9 years old, right? 10, if I'm going from right now, I'd be 10 years old from right now. And Michael Schumacher was the world champion.
Sorry, I'm trying to take care of a daddy long legs here. Just give me just a second.
Is Reese putting in chat there Jenny Longlegs? What's the difference between a Jenny Longlegs and Daddy Long?
But that it's called a Ginny Longlegs, but I've always referred to it as a daddy Longlegs. That's what it's always been called.
I think it's a bit unfair.
It's dead.
I think going off, if you want to go down the route of performance-related sacking, I think it's highly unfair.
Oh, massively.
As you said, they've had a couple of poor races, but Max Verstappen is still P3 in that championship with 165 points. And you've lost Adrian Newey to Aston Martin. As we touched on earlier, that man has won half of the World Constructors' Championships in the past 30 years. You've also lost Jonathan Wheatley, the head of engineering, to Audi/Sauber. So if you take out two of your most vital cogs in a team, two of your most vital cogs, the other cog can't spin itself. And let's be honest, it isn't Andy on God's green earth. I'm probably the universe like Adrian Newey. That man looks at a car and just sees airflow. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That man's ability is ridiculous. And I think Horner made a scapegoat. I don't think for a scapegoat. As JMO says, I agree with JMO. I think personally this is a last ditch chance to keep Max Verstappen at the team. As we've said, that Max Verstappen has said that he wanted to race. Helmut Marko brought him to the team as a 17-year-old kid from Minardi, Toro Rosso at that point. He gave him his chance after he won. Don't get me wrong, Max has been a phenomenal racer if he was 17. Helmut Marko's first protege was Sebastian Vettel, who won in a Toro Rosso with a Ferrari. The Ferrari engine that Red Bull didn't want, it wasn't powerful enough.
Yeah.
We want Renault engines and more. Put the Ferrari in that young kid, Sebastian Vettel, in a wet and rainy morning, stuck it on foot. But I agree with JMO that I think this is a last-ditch attempt to keep Max Verstappen.
Yeah, it really does. It really does feel like that is exactly what it is. It really does.
As JMO says, Jos Verstappen doesn't really like Christian Horner. I do think that the allegations from last year haven't really got Christian Horner. I think that's always been like on the sidelines, team of lost respect for him, fighting a losing battle essentially, etc. But I do agree with JMO that this has all been a power move by Helmut Marko to say, look, he's not in charge, I am, stay with us, stay with me.
Yeah.
Because it is no secret that Max has been talking to Mercedes.
Oh, well, that's clear to see. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the news of as of recent, the whole private jet situation.
Yeah,
Toto and Max in the private jet together. They're having talks. It's obvious they're having talks. But it leads me to the question, and I said it when I was talking of Kimi being like obviously the better of the rookies. Where if George goes, if they get rid of George, because obviously George, the contract talks isn't happening. But if they get rid of George and keep Max and Kimi, does Kimi then go backwards? But you can't have George and Max because which one of they're not going to do what McLaren do and just let them fucking race. They're not going to let them just have at it. It's.
I think both are too selfish for that, I think.
Yeah, 100 exactly. It won't work. So, but for George, if it's George that goes, where does George go? Because right now, George is the definition, right, of loyalty gets you nowhere.
I personally think that falls with Charles Leclerc.
Well, yeah, agreement, yeah.
But I do agree with you saying that loyalty gets you nowhere. But Formula One has always been a cut. But look at what happened with Williams in the 90s. This is actually a pretty funny one. In 1991, 1990, Williams signed Nigel Mansell back from Barry. First season wasn't really successful, and they announced that they were signing Alain Prost and Nigel Mansell would be going in the middle of the 1992 season.
Yeah.
Nigel Mansell then won the 1992 championship and then was sacked at the end of the season. Alain Prost, 1993, was told it was a 1-year deal, won the title, and then was sacked for Ayrton Senna.
Yeah.
And then it happened again in 1996 when they said, right, Damon Hill, we're replacing you with and then he goes and wins the title.
Yeah. It's
like Williams.
It's such a cutthroat business, and it really does. It really like you said, Charles has shown it too. But loyalty really does get you nowhere in sports specifically.
Well, let's look at some of the people in sport that have been so loyal. Look at Matt Mattissi, prime example. Francesco Totti.
Yeah.
And then you look at players. I mean, Francesco Totti did have a great career. Matt Mattissi, phenomenal player, was let down by staying there. You have players like in the Scottish League. Who can we say with the Scottish League with loyalty? You've got James Tavernier, for example, who came to Rangers in 2014, I think. Rachel will back me up here. He's seen the Rangers through. James, there you go, another prime example. James, who this season continued his 16 years. I think it's 16 years. I think it is 16 years. That number's in my head for some reason. Of scoring a goal for Celtic.
That's insane to stay at a club for 10 seasons. Tavernier has been there now.
10 seasons for Tavernier, yeah.
Holy fuck.
And his loyalty has sort of hindered the club's progress by people are saying.
Well, he had big money moves on the table and so many offers at so many times. He was one I said for years. Like, if he got a move to a decent sized, I'm not saying Rangers aren't a decent sized club. I don't want to fucking upset anyone in Scotland, Christ. But if he moved to like a big club kind of situation and got a good amount of game time, his career could have been so different. He could have won so much more and been actually really influential in winning those trophies.
Yeah. James Forrest has been, I think it's 14 years that he's been at Celtic and scored season. But he's no longer first choice for people like Jota and Maida and all that coming through for Celtic. And I think he has hindered his progress with the fact that stayed there so long, as his boyhood club, etc. In his recent in the chat says Cal McGregor, Brown.
I mean, the biggest case of loyalty in football that you've got to look at is Steven Gerrard. And I know he technically loyalty-wise, he did try and leave, but got death threats and made to stay. He had an opportunity to go to Chelsea. Chelsea then went and won the league the year that he was supposed to be going to them. He had his chance. He turned down. He had chance to go, and he was going to go, but then the death threats came, and he didn't go. But I mean, you can't knock his career at Liverpool. Incredible player. One of the reasons I started watching football in the first place. Like, absolutely love the bloke, but he gets used as a loyalty scope so many times. Yet his loyalty technically isn't all that well, because he tried to leave.
As recently chat there said, Ryan Giggs and Paul Scholes as well.
Yeah.
Two phenomenal players that have been absolutely played at their skin for their club. But you can't really say a loyalty got. Paul Scholes and Ryan Giggs have won a few titles and medals.
Yeah.
Then you look at players like Frank Lampard. Obviously, he came from West Ham, but he was loyal to Chelsea for so many years.
He did win the Premier League though, didn't he?
Who?
Frank.
Yeah, Lampard. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. See, I mean, we all know football is one of the most cutthroat sports in the world. One wrong move, Luis Karius, for example. One wrong move and you're done. Like Luis Karius in that Champions League final, that was his career done, over, just like that, blink of an eye. And it's mad the way like one teeny tiddly little mistake can ruin someone's livelihood. And also, I mean, now we're pretty much done on touching on F1. I think we've talked about pretty much everything we can.
No, I've got a few more. I've got a few more points.
You got a few more.
It's just to carry on from the Christian Horner story. Mike, I can't remember his name now. He has been stepped up from the Racing Bulls. He was the Racing Bulls team principal.
Now the Red Bull one.
But let's just take a minute to put yourself in his shoes here. On Saturday morning, he woke up. Sorry, not Saturday, it was at Silverstone. On Thursday morning, he woke up in Italy. Team principal of the club. He's now just been said, nah, you're now moving to Keynes.
Yeah.
And Alan Permain, who was just relieved from his duties at Alpine, is now the team principal at Sharp Racing Bulls.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought they would have stepped someone up from inside.
Apparently not. Alan Permain got the job. Was a pretty decent guy Alpine have been in silly season for the past couple of years.
Well, yeah, look at the whole investment from Trent and that.
Yeah. But I think hold on. I'm just checking a little stat out here as well. I think that this is just the beginning of the absolute silliest of silly seasons.
Oh yeah, 100%. This is going to be one of the biggest silly seasons we ever get, especially going into 2026 with the new regulations. It's going to make things like so much different, and everything is going to change so much going into next season.
Oh, I'm buzzing for next season.
I'm very excited for
it. And Cadillac, everything's just looking shape.
Am I correct in thinking 22 cars on the grid?
Yes, 22 cars next year.
So it's basically like a my team career mode.
Right. It really says he's decent. Can't wait for next year when your eggs hot.
Yeah, it really could. I think we could have so many surprises next season. So many. Like it will be ridiculous next season. I'm very excited to see where it can go.
Well, if you get no more points, I think that's us for this week.
I was going to say, I think that just about wraps us up for this week. So, fellas, if you have enjoyed watching and listening, don't forget listening as well, because this is going to be on YouTube as well, so you can watch back and listen. We're going to try and work out some logistics going forward for future episodes to be on all your streaming platforms, your Spotify's, your Apple Music, blah blah blah. I just don't have a fucking clue how to do that, so we're going to try and work out how to do that. But fellas, if you have enjoyed the first episode of Two Blokes Talking Balls, make sure you tune back in next week, and we'll catch you all next time. Much love. Peace.
Much love, guys. Peace out.